is unfortunately the number one thing that people care most about. And I always tell every shop owner, it's the easiest part about credit card processing. If you just care about price, take your statement and send it to 10 different processors. And I promise you'll get a great price, because anyone can just undercut anybody, just like the shop owners world, right? If somebody got a quote for a transmission job, and I'm terrible with cars, so forgive me on that, but on whatever numbers I'm going to say, but it's going to cost $5,000 for a transmission repair at Joe's Auto, and then I take that quote for $5,000 and I go to Bob's Auto down the street and I say, here's the quote. Like Bob can just, undercut that $5,000 by $4,500. It's really easy to just save people money. And it's also complex, but I'd say, to answer your question, price is irrelevant if the processor you're with doesn't help you when your machine breaks and you can't take credit cards for a week because you can't get the credit card machine up and running, and you're having to go all of a sudden key every single transaction in, and keying cards cost more. If you don't get that quick service, that's a big deal. Your funds getting held. What if you do run some crazy abnormal transaction? Maybe you do enterprise, fleet cars, and your processor doesn't understand that side of your business, that you do that, and you run, a $30,000 transaction because it's on net 30 terms or something like that. And your funds get held, but you paid all those parts and now you can't make payroll. How quickly does your processor help you get those funds released and back into your bank account? And that's a big deal in the repair world, is making sure your processor understands how you're taking payments. Funding time, in general, put the, big transactions aside. Do you get your money next day? What if you have a bookkeeper and an accountant off-site and they need access to certain batch reports, your statements and everything? How easy is it for them to read everything? So a lot of times shop owners make decisions for what's best for them, and they think, oh, I'm saving $100 a month or something if I go with this processor, but they're forgetting that there's other people that this decision is actually impacting. And the bookkeeper or the accountant has an hourly fee too. And if you're having to teach them all new systems and it's taking them longer for whatever reason, they might be billing you more because it's taking them longer. And then of course, I always tell everybody, you have a CPA, you have a lawyer, you have an insurance person, you have relationships with people that help you in your business, and they're indirectly business partners. You should know who your credit card processor is, and you should feel comfortable with the team of people. And is it always going to be the same rep? No. Like, let's just call a spade, that sales reps turn, right? Like, they're not going to be there forever, but you should have a relationship with that company in some capacity, because I would imagine it's at least 60 or 70% of your business is being run through credit cards. And if you don't have a relationship with that person and you're just using, a bank or an 800 number or something, and you need something, it's invaluable to have that relationship with somebody that's going to go to the bat for you in times of need. And maybe you don't have a lot of times in need, right? Like maybe, I haven't had to call my credit card processor in 3 years. Well, 3 years is coming up and you might have to call them again. And what's that experience going to be like? So it's super important that you have a relationship. And prices can change, right? It's not, what you get today doesn't always mean what it's going to be tomorrow. It's also just an estimate. So a lot of times the price, I like to give the salesperson the benefit of the doubt, is doing their best, giving you an estimate on it, but maybe it's not accurate when push comes to shove and you actually get that statement one day. So making sure you're with somebody you completely trust and doing your research is so much more important than any price that you can get out there.